we will now take up some more questions from the zoology part of the paper. So, let's look at this question first. The question says, which of the following characteristics is incorrect with respect to cockroach? So, this is a question which is asked from cockroach, that is given in Structural Organization in Animals, chapter number 7 of class 11th. So, now let's look at the statements and we have to find out an incorrect statement, that is, we have to find out a false statement or a wrong statement. So, the first statement says, in females, 7th to 9th turga together form a genital pouch. So, we know this thing in the case of cockroaches, the 7th sternum is actually boat shaped, and that sternum along with 8th as well as 9th, they all form the genital pouch. So, this is a correct statement. This is completely correct. Let's read the other statement. This says the 10th abdominal segment in both the sexes bear a pair of anal cerci. This also is a correct statement. Anal cerci, which are sensory structures, they are present both the type of organisms, that is males as well as females. However, anal styles are present only in the male organisms. So, this is again a correct statement. Then let's read the third statement, that is, a ring of gastric ceca is present at the junction of midgut as well as hindgut. So, this is a wrong statement. There are around 6 to 8, a ring of around 6 to 8 blind tubules which are present at the junction of foregut as well as midgut. These tubules, they help in secreting digestive enzymes or digestive juices which help in digestion. So, this statement is a wrong statement. Why? Because they are present at the junction of foregut as well as midgut. So, this is wrong. At the junction of midgut and hindgut are present the tubular structures known as malpighian tubules. Their ring of around 100 to 150 yellow tubules, malpighian tubule is present over here. So, this is a wrong statement. Then let's come to the D statement. Hypopharynx lies within the cavity that is enclosed by the mouth parts. Yes, the biting and chewing mouth part of the cockroach, it comprises of the labium, labrum, then a pair of mandibles, pair of maxillae. And in the center, there is this tongue-like structure known as the hypopharynx. So, obviously, this is a correct statement. As asked in the question, we had to find out a false statement. So, obviously, our answer is C for this particular question. Now, let's look at another question. This says erythropoietin hormone. So, this is a question about erythropoietin hormone which stimulates the RBC formation. From where is it produced? Is it produced from the cells of bone marrow? No. Is it produced from the juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney? Yes. The kidney juxtaglomerular cells, JGA apparatus, they are the ones which actually produce the erythropoietin hormone. Then the alpha cells of pancreas, no, they release glucagon. And the cells of rostral adenohypophysis, no, this is also wrong. So, the answer to this question lies in the option B. Now, let's look at another question. So, this is a matching type of a question. Here we have to match the components that are given in list 1, that is Aspergillus niger, Acetobacter aceti, Clostridium botulicum and Lactobacillus. These microorganisms we have to match with the product they form. Which type of an acid, organic acid do they form? The answer given is acetic acid, lactic acid, citric acid and butyric acid. So, let's start matching. Aspergillus niger is helping in the production of citric acid. This is something that we know. Then, Acetobacter aceti is helping in the production of acetic acid. Clostridium botulicum helps in the production of butyric acid. And Lactobacillus helps in the production of lactic acid. So, let's see the matching. A matches with 3. So, there is only one option, that is option number C, where A matches with 3. Then, B matches with 1, which is correctly given. C matches with 4, which is correctly given. And D matches with 2, which is correctly given. So, the answer to this question lies in the option C. Now, let's look at another question. This question is on the receptors which are present, which help in sperm binding. So, receptors for sperm binding in mammals are present on Are they present on the vitelline space? No. Are they present on the zona pellucida? Yes. Corona radiata? No. Vitelline membrane? No. So this is a theoretical type of a question where we should know that the receptors which help in binding of these sperms, those are present on the zona pellucida. They are also known as ZP3 receptors. So this is a very theoretical type of an question, the answer of which is B. Then the next question is, for effective treatment of the disease, early diagnosis and understanding of its pathophysiology is very important. Which of the following molecular diagnostic techniques is very useful for early detection of a disease? So we know the general conventional methods of serum testing, urine testing, they generally detect a particular pathogen after its amount has increased a huge amount in the body. Whereas if we have to control certain serious diseases, it will be very easy for us if we control them, if we are able to detect them at an earlier stage. And which of these techniques given over here, ELISA, hybridization, Western blotting and Southern blotting, they help in doing that? So the answer to this question is ELISA. We know ELISA stands for enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. In this particular test, we actually find the antibodies which might be present in response to a particular antigen that is there inside our body. So if the antibodies for the particular antigen that we are looking for, the disease causing organism that we are looking for are present, then definitely we can say that yes, the organism is suffering from the disease. So ELISA is used for a early detection of the disease. Hybridization techniques, they actually help in formation of hybridizations. Then Western blotting techniques are used for detecting the presence of a particular protein in a mixture of proteins. And similarly, Southern blotting technique is actually used for the detection of DNA which is present in a mixture of substances. So out of all of these, the answer to this question stands A, that is ELISA. Now let's look at another question. This is a question on molecular basis of inheritance, that is on the codons. The statement 1 says codon AUG codes for methionine and phenylalanine. So we know that AUG codes for methionine as well as it acts as a start codon. So this should not be there and the statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 says that AAA and AAG both codons code for amino acid lysine. Yes, this is a correct statement. Both of them code for lysine. So if we look at the options, we will have to find the option which states that statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. So the answer to this question is B, as we can see over here. Then let's look at another question. This is the question on the various type of joints or the structure and the shape of the bones. So these are the various bones of our body and these are the various type of relevant points which can match with them. Let's start with scapula. We all know that scapula is a triangular bone which is forming the part of the pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle is made up of scapula as well as clavicle. So scapula is a triangular bone, triangular flat bone. We can match A with 4. So let's see the options where A matches with 4. It is B as well as A. Whereas C and D don't hold true. Now let's talk about cranium. Cranium is made up of fibrous joints. That is, the cranial bones are made up of very tough fibrous joints which are immovable joints. They don't cause any type of movement. So B can be matched with 3, which goes correct in option number B. Here it is wrongly matched. Sternum is a flat bone. We know this thing, which is forming the part of the axial skeleton. This bone is the sternum. And vertebral column, the bones of the vertebral column are joined by cartilaginous joints, which allow considerable type of a slight type of a movement, we like to say. So the correct answer to the question will be B, as A matches with 4, B matches with 3, C matches with 2, as well as D matches with 1. So the answer is B. Now let's look at another question. This question says which of the following is not a step. So they are saying identify a statement which is not a step in multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology, that is in the MOIT technology. So the MOIT technology points are: cow is fertilized by artificial insemination. This is a correct point. Then the fertilized eggs are transferred to surrogate mother at 8 to 32 cell stage. This is also a correct statement. The third statement says that the cow is administered hormone having LH-like activity for superovulation. So we know for superovulation we require a hormone known as FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone. So this statement will not hold true. And then the cow yields about 6 to 8 eggs at a time, and this is a correct statement. There are 6 to 8 eggs released, obviously due to hyperovulation by FSH hormone. So answer C holds true for this particular question. So this is not a step that is used in MOIT. Now let's come to another question. This says which of the following secretes the hormone relaxin during the later phases of pregnancy. So we know during the pregnancy it is the corpus luteum as well as placenta. Both of them, they release a hormone known as relaxin, which is going to help in relaxing the ligaments of the pelvis, as well as it will help in softening and widening of the cervix to facilitate the parturition or the childbirth. So relaxin hormone, we should remember, is released by corpus luteum as well as by placenta. So placenta is not given over here in the option, and we will go with D. Now let's look at the other question. This is a question on histone proteins. Here they say which of the following statement about histones is wrong. So we have to find out an incorrect statement. Histone proteins, we know these are basic proteins which are helping in wounding the DNA, that is in the supercoiling of the DNA. So now histones are rich in amino acid lysine and arginine. Yes, because the histones altogether have a basic nature. So they have to be rich in basic amino acids which are lysine and arginine. Then histones carry a net positive charge in the side chain, that is very correct. Histones are organized to form a unit of 8 molecules. This is known as a histone octamer, which is formed up of H2A, H2B, H3, H4, 2 each molecules of all these structures. So total it becomes a 8 molecule octamer of histone proteins. So this is a correct statement. Then the pH of histones is slightly acidic. As I told you, histone proteins are basic in nature. So obviously their pH is not going to be acidic. The pH will be slightly alkaline. So this is a wrong statement about histone proteins, and our answer to this question will definitely lie in D option. So these were some questions which were asked in the NEET exam from the zoology session. Now let's talk about the leftover 10 questions in the next